So often we get asked the question, what is the business case for diversity? And I hate that question, right? It presupposes that we need to be showing the monetary, corporate, capitalist value of this in order to make it real. So I kind of, instead of going deeply into that, and there's a lot of research that talks about the business case, I actually want to talk about something more practical. When I think of organizations, all organizations really are a series of decisions that have been made in the past that affect our current decision-making, that affects our future decision-making, right? That's all organizations are. It's just, that's really all our lives are just decisions made upon decisions that affect future decisions. And we kind of have this decisions circulating within our organizations that have ramifications and implications. Wonderful. So if we understand organizations as this kind of trading in decisions, and then we start looking at what makes and what helps us make our decisions, particularly decisions around people, and that's everything about organizations, or people making decisions about people. Then we understand that in our decision-making matrix, so when we're thinking about unconscious bias, really all we talk about at Cohesion Collective when we say unconscious bias is understanding how we have a certain decision-making matrix that is limited by what we've been told historically to see as safe, familiar, valuable, likable. So when we understand that our history, our past, of who we see as valuable, who we see as safe, familiar, valuable, and likable actually affects our decision-making, then we can understand how important doing equality, diversity, and inclusion work is in our organizations to expand our decision-making matrix, to expand who and what we see as safe, familiar, valuable, likable. That's going to affect recruitment, promotions, who we staff on projects, who we put in front of client, who we see as leadership, who we see as culture fit, who we want to go and explore and get new business from, who we don't trust when we're looking at service providers. Those are all decisions that we make about people. And if we have a constrained or a limited decision-making matrix based on our background, our history of who we've been told to see as safe, familiar, valuable, likable, mostly white people, mostly men, mostly educated, mostly who speak beautifully, then all the decisions that we make in the past, present, and impact the future are going to be constrained and keep in place the current systems of privilege. So, the benefits of diversity and inclusion and doing this work in organizations has very, very practical implications in that it asks us to use more information, to bring in more voices in the decision-making process, to bring in more decision-making matrix of who people find safe, familiar, valuable, likable in order to make better decisions. Okay? So when we're thinking about unconscious bias, we often just talk about decision-making, right? How do we start increasing that decision-making matrix? Really practical.